Yeah, we actually talked about it months back. I made a few references to Mike that it was probably time to start talking about his future and extending. He had one more year left, and of course Ken and I are thrilled with the job that he and his team have done, his regime. So we started talking really 2 or 3 months before all the rumors came out with some of the recent news that had taken place. And it just gave us a reason to accelerate it, and we had real good conversations, and we were able to wrap it up before the end of the season. But for us, really a no-brainer. We've loved the direction that Mike has taken us. He and his team have put us obviously in a good spot, and it's something we've been building. When we first hired Mike, in 17, one of the top priorities then was let's fix the farm system. And we went from a bottom 5 to a top 5 in quick fashion. And at the same time, he was also building what we were hoping would be a very sustainable model, and we're thrilled with the job that he's done and with his leadership, and things have been very smooth. So I'm excited that he wanted to be here. First and foremost, that was the conversation we had. Obviously, Mike's got, and he could speak to it more than I can, it's him. But he has the history in Boston, and Ken and I wanted to make sure that he wanted to be here, and he made it clear he did. He also took it upon himself to sit down with his family and his sons, which we thought was very special, before he agreed, and just wanted to make sure they were on board, and of course they were. And so that makes me very happy that they're all happy as a family in Arizona, and he's made it home, and he's been a tremendous leader for me.
Mike, could you expound a little bit on that, on your thinking of it,
Sure.
reaction to it?
Yes, Derrick and I started talking about this a while ago, and I am so very grateful and appreciative of the opportunity that I have. I've felt that from the day I've gotten one of these jobs, and I wake up every day trying to prove that I deserve to keep that job, and because of how special it is to be able to work in this type of job and for this organization. And look, yes, I have a lot of family back in Boston. I have a lot of my best friends that I work with back there. We committed when we came out here to building something that involved winning, not just doing this job to do this job, or some perception of what could be deemed doing this job well, building a farm system or finishing 500, I don't know, going deep into the playoffs and winning a World Series. And that's not done. We're not even close to that yet. And so I felt like that part was very much left undone. And when I started this process with the guys, men and women that I've brought into the organization, some from other organizations, some that we've hired, there's a responsibility to kind of still be here and not be the first one to leave before they get opportunities to go do those things too. And that weighed a lot on me. And then, as Derrick said, I sat down with my kids, and the vote wasn't, it wasn't unanimous, but I didn't really weight all the votes the same. The senior in high school had a little more pull than the 8th grader had, you know what I mean? But they all love Arizona. We love the community we have here, the family we have here. And it was, Derrick and I, from the very first thing, I just told him, I said, I'm not going anywhere. So I want to be here. I want to be here. We need to get something done. We want to get something done. It's very important to me that the group that's around me gets done too. And so I'm even more appreciative that Fitz and Amiel got taken care of the way that they did, and the trust that they showed those two guys, who are the backbone of what we do, who are literally the reason we have been successful to this point. Those two guys and the people underneath in our front office. And so I'm even more appreciative that when I talked to Derrick and Ken about that they were equally as excited to make sure that those guys got extended too. And I think that's going to pay long-term dividends for the organization.
You said I'm not going anywhere after the Boston thing opened up?
No, I mean, just as we were having conversations through the course of the thing, I was like, look, I'm not, we would have, the first conversation was very casual. We didn't talk about anything specific. He knew I wasn't going anywhere. I get what was swirling around publicly, but I think what we're trying to create here is going to take a little bit longer than where we're standing this season.
He's our shrewd chief negotiator, and he took away all his leverage, which was really fun to see.